National League North and National League South, all teams are in agreement that they feel like 3 people should get promoted, obviously. I just wanted to hear your opinions on it because I know there is a very mixed bag. Sam very kindly did a poll on Twitter, I think it was. Yeah. He's put all 72 National League clubs are supporting a letter to the EFL requesting a vote to create 3 promotion places into their league. Do you agree? Hashtag free up, hashtag put football first. 91% were in agreement that there should be 3 places, and then obviously 9% voted no, and they want it to stay as it is. Anybody in the chat as well, if they want to get involved, please do. Anne, I'll come to you first.
So is this for like just the National League, or is it for like,
National League, National League North, National League South?
So
get promoted.
So 3 teams would go up from National League North and National League South into the National League.
Yeah. So it'd basically be, I'm guessing it'd basically be an outright champion, obviously another one in automatics, and then a playoff final winner.
Okay. So how many teams are going down from the National League then? 6.
I'm presuming it'll be 3, will it?
Well, there's 4 that go down now. So if they wanted an extra one to be promoted, they'd have to relegate another one, wouldn't they? So it'd be
But
they would have to relegate another 2, wouldn't they? Because it's National League. See that? So I agree with 3 out the National League that should go up into League 2, because I've never understood this from like from the moment I've literally known football, why 4 go down from League 1 into League 2 and 4 go up, whereas I would just make 3 down from League 2. Not this season because we want Morgan to stay up, but maybe from next year. I've just never understood it. It should be 3-3 all the way up, all the way down. So I totally agree with the kind of getting 3 out of the National League. But if they're going to make the National League North and South 3 each, then you're looking at 6 down from the National League. So where you're working that out, are you going to have something where you 2 go up from National League North and South, maybe the top 2, and then the playoffs winners go into another playoff with like what they do in Scotland, don't they? They have like that might work. That might work. I'm all for 3 up, 3 down. I've got to be honest, especially coming out of that. If they can work something out in the National League where they can do that, then I'm all for it. But I don't know how they can work it out when there's 2 teams coming into one league. I don't know how they can work that out. But definitely as a promoted point of view, and 3 out of League 2, I do believe that, because you look at the teams that have come out from the National League in the last few years, you look at your Stockports, your Fleetwoods, Lincoln City, them sides who have come up and stayed up, Wrexham, a lot of good teams have come out of that league, not the one that stayed up there. And I actually believe the National League is catching up a little bit with League 2, whereas some very, very good sides are getting out there and staying out there, like Chesterfield or another one. I think Barnet, if Barnet went up, would stay up as well. So I would have 3, I think. If a team come out and get relegated, then that's fair enough. But you look at the bottom 2 now in League 2, and obviously Morecambe have had the problems all season, but are in the bottom 2. Tranmere, who could be relegated. None of them, and Carlisle, none of them are sides that got promoted out of the National League. So, and how many sides have come up and come straight back down straight away? I don't think it's that many. So for me, I would have 3. I think it just makes logical sense. So see what happens.
Claire, I'll come to you because I know you were shaking your head when Ant said about them catching up. So I'll come to you next.
I don't even mean it in like a really big way, but I just think like the top few sides in the National League are not that bad. But below that, and Shai, you will have seen some shocking football at that level. I just personally didn't rate non-league. I know we were in it for a long time, but I actually, when we were in the Conference North, I was like, yeah, it should be free up. But when we were in the National League, I changed my mind. And obviously it's been a conversation that's gone on for quite a long time, and I can't 100% put my finger on why I changed my mind, but I don't think that like all of the teams that are up there would stay up, if I'm being honest. And I think like, yeah, maybe it'd get more competitive if you've got an extra team coming down as well, because you would have to have an extra team coming down. But I don't know, like I just think, I don't know, just not for me, if I'm being honest.
I've always got like a few statisticians in the chat because I'm obviously I haven't got the time to look at it. But can someone actually go through, say, the last 10 years of how many teams have got out of the National League and gone straight back down again?
See, I feel
literally for my kind of interest, to be honest, because I can't think of many.
Can I just challenge something as well? Because I know obviously there's people saying that they don't think certain people are good enough and they don't think standards are good enough from the National League and National League North and South. But I feel like a lot of the EFL clubs at the moment are poaching a lot of players from National League, National League North, National League South.
Half of our squad is National League players.
Yeah, not just that, not just players, but managers. Like coaching staff. So I do get the argument.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Get the argument of, I don't think certain teams are as good. And I do kind of necessarily feel like, from a point of view, maybe you people who are, and I think a lot of people will suffer, the ones who obviously aren't full-time football clubs, but maybe this exposure and this kind of thing will maybe get the ball rolling, because I feel like National League football is growing at the minute. I feel National League North and South could also grow. Obviously, people are giving them the platform and it is becoming more competitive. So in that aspect, because I've seen a lot of people online who are for it, but then some are like, well, I don't think this team's good enough or this player will be good enough. But then that was my argument. Like, you're saying the players in National League and beyond that aren't good enough, but why are you EFL clubs coming to our league to poach our players and managers? Obviously, they are good enough if you are doing that. So...
Yeah. I do get that point. I think the other way as well, looking at it, if it did happen, is that I think it used to be a pretty small gap between National League and League Two. I think it's got a bit bigger. I'm not saying it's got massive. It has got a bit bigger because the style of football that I used to watch in the National League is not what you see in League Two anymore. But I think the National League's improved as well. But what you'd probably say is it becomes even closer again. So it gets more competitive, and maybe sort of, I think a lot of players now towards the end of their career are not afraid of dropping down to a lower level, whereas before they probably didn't. So I don't know. Like it obviously, if it happened, but it's just not for me. Just not for me. I can see the positives of it though.
I just feel like it's very unfair, because I feel like when you've got people like 4 teams getting promoted and 4 teams in League Two and League One getting obviously promoted and things like that, I don't think it's fair. And obviously the National League clubs, and I'm not just saying it because Dale are now there. I've thought about it for a good few years now. Why can't that happen? And I think it's so hard to get out of National League. And I think that's why so many teams are struggling, because you think now, if they can do that extra position and have the competitiveness and things like that, you could bring a whole new audience to National League. You could even bring bigger gates and things like that, because obviously it's more competitive. I feel like teams who are going up are obviously being able to stay up as well. Look at Bromley this season. Obviously, I know Chesterfield have got money. You've had Barrow in the past. There, obviously, I know a lot of it was Pete Wild as well, but Pete Wild came from National League. Like, a lot of their players came from National League. It is getting better. I know people are saying the standards and stuff, but you think now, and I've just credited Worthing for doing it, we play it. I think a lot of the teams, even down below in that league, they're trying to play the modern day kind of football. I know, obviously, I think football's adapting as a whole, whether you're a grassroots team, whether you're a Premier League team, whether you're an EFL team, a National League team. I think a lot of managers now are getting drummed into the head to play that modern day kind of football. So I don't think it matters what kind of like league it is. And I just feel like it will really help the football pyramid as a whole as well. I genuinely really do.
Because obviously it'd have to be in agreement with the Football League as well.
I was gonna come on to that.
Would like vote for it, because I feel like
they wouldn't.
I don't think they would.
If you asked any Morecambe fan now, if you wanted to go 3 up, 3 down, it would be a no from us, because if it was, we would have been down years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 going down in League 2 at the minute. We're very lucky to still be in this league. Like, I think if it went to an EFL vote, I don't think many would be in agreement. Maybe the top half.
I agree with that. And I'm not saying this because it's like I say, because we all want Morecambe to stay up this season and everything like that. But what a team's afraid of, you know what I mean? An extra one going down. What our team's afraid of? That, you know, teams are going to come up, like, you know, we mentioned it before, Chesterfields, your Notts Counties, your Stockports and all that, are going to be better than. Well, that's fair. That's football, isn't it? You know what I mean? Another point is, and Sam's made that point there about Notts County, that they were on, 100 points, and they didn't win the league. And that would have been an absolute travesty if, and luckily they went up in the playoffs, because that would have been an absolute travesty if they'd not gone up. And imagine if they didn't go up. And so, you know, because I think they were like a goal away from not. I think they were like quite close in one of the games in playoffs where they were.
Penalties that did it.
Yeah. And
I think the other aspect to it is like the teams that have come up, and obviously I'm including us in it, and our owner has spoken completely honestly and said, to get promoted out of the National League, you need to throw a load of money at it. Like, we literally threw the money at getting out of it. Wrexham threw the money at getting out of it. And to a point, I think Notts County did as well, because some of the players they paid a lot of money for. Do you feel like it'd leave teams behind as well? Because do you not think that if more and more clubs are throwing money behind it, or do you think that it would take that away?
I think, you know what? I think it's the same in every league that will go that is in this pyramid, right? You look at the Championship, for instance. Now, Leeds have thrown money at the Championship to get out, and are probably going to get out. We've spent a lot of money, or have signed players on loan with View, have paid a lot of money for. You look at your Prestons, your Bristol Cities, and all that, who are in the Championship, and it'll be in the Championship for quite a long time. I think you need them teams as well as, you know, you start to throw who are able to throw money at. I think the problem is with the National League. Yes, you are going to get, because, you know, a Barnet doing it this year, possibly, you know what I mean. But to get promoted in any league, you do have to spend, don't you? You know what I mean? You do have to put some money. You have to go, this is our time, this is our turn to have a right go at it. You know what I mean? And we're going to...
Yeah, I mean, and literally Mark Stott's come out and said, like, we paid ourselves out of that league. To do it, and we did the same to League 2. And now he's like, you know what, now we've got to, like, crack down and become... on
the chin, yeah.
No, but do you not think if this happened, it'd be more competitive and it'd bring more retention and more money into them leagues, maybe more funding, helping like I've mentioned, helping the football pyramid. But I know people are mentioning as well, like, the EFL don't want to agree to it, and a 3 up, 3 down. But say a team like Morecambe, if they were to come down, it'd be a lot more easier to come back up if there were 3 teams, because it's bloody hard work now. As much as it's
the money side for us. Like, we are at the bottom of League 2 because we have no money. If we got into the National League, we wouldn't be able.
We were the same. We were exactly the same.
Unless we're sold, we wouldn't be able to get out of that league.
And again, just on the football side of things, and I don't watch much National League. You know what I mean? I try and watch, you know, the one that's on free on a Saturday night. But you know, but I've watched a few games this season and last year in the FA Cup, especially. You look at Tamworth about 3 weeks ago against Spurs. Took Spurs all the way. Tamworth weren't playing long ball. Tamworth were playing football against Spurs. They were playing. You know, they took Spurs, you know, head to head. You know, yes, it's a one-off game. You look at Maidstone last year getting all the way to, you know, the 5th round of the FA Cup. Weren't playing long ball merchants against Ipswich. You know, I watched that game for the whole 90 minutes. They were excellent. Yes, they buy the look at them, but they're not playing football. I get there's some teams that do that, but there's some teams in every league in every country that'll play long ball because it's just a way. It's a way to set up. It's a way the manager sets them up. You know what I mean? Sam Allardyce made it a living out of playing long ball football. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I think it's a conversation that it's the same with it's kind of the same with this whole thing that's going on in America with Donald Trump wanting to take over Gaza. He can talk about it as much as he wants. It won't happen. And I think this is the problem with the National League. They can vote for it as long as they want. We can all say support it, but I don't think it'll happen because I don't think the Football League will vote for it because I think it'll end up being where the sides that are near the bottom, like the sides who might end up going down next. You look at Aggie Stanleys or something like that who have had so many seasons down there and it might be their turn. Or your Carlisles, or if they manage to stay up, or your Tranmere's, and they go, well, hang on, if it's one more, we don't really want to do it. You know what I mean? Because we know we're going to struggle this season. Harrogate United.
Maybe, on the flip side of that, if they feel like they're in very big issues, like if they think shit, this could be the time now where we are actually struggling, maybe we will go down at some point in the next few seasons. Maybe we will vote in favour because then at least we can try and get back up again and it'll be a lot easier to get back up. And this is
sometimes it as much as it hurts. Because obviously we've done the double drop with being relegated. We're on our way back. Sometimes teams do need to get relegated to get back to where they were. You know what I mean? Get rid of all the the flamboyant crap that your football had. You look at Ipswich, for instance. Ipswich probably needed to completely re-evaluate themselves and redevelop themselves as a football club. Got themselves back out of League One, did the double promotion. You look at them now in Premier. Yes, they're struggling in the Premiership, but look how well they're doing. You know what I mean? Your Luton Towns are probably the same. Sometimes teams need to go down to find that reinvestment, to find that new ownership or whatever, and then come back up again. I don't know. I just don't know. But I just don't. I think the problem is I think that the Football League themselves are scared for it to happen.
No, I do as well. My points, obviously, as I mentioned, because I've been quite an advocate for it for a while. It's not obviously now. I don't want people to think just because we're in National League, because I don't think at this moment in time we should go up because I don't think we're ready. And I'm not saying that. But I think for football as a whole, I think it'll be brilliant because I feel like there's a lot more coverage now of National League North and South. I think it deserves to, because as I mentioned, I feel like a lot of these hidden gems, whether it be managers, whether it be players, are picked up from them. It's like York, them hidden gems from Worthing and up and beyond. Like I've mentioned Leamington, a player from Leamington going to Shrewsbury. And you think how many leagues above? It's not just like a league jump, it's like 3 league jumps. Like that I think is fantastic. Obviously, you've seen like Con Clark last season from Altrincham go to Peterborough. I know they're not doing the best, but you've got these players.
From Wigan at the minute, you look where he's come from.
Exactly.
The biggest example of it is Jamie Vardy, isn't it?
Exactly.
Vardy,
Harry Kane's gone through it. Ollie Watkins have gone through things where they've gone like from, I don't think it was non-league, but EFL, and then travelled away up. And I feel like everybody deserves his chance. But I feel like with National League as a whole, it deserves a chance to obviously grow like all the other leagues are growing. And I feel like it does deserve money and stuff to be pumped into National League. But the thing that I did want to speak about, and I'm very, very thingy about, because I don't want it to be the case of, because I know a lot of people were like, oh, but National League teams, if it gets to a point where it's agreement, they can get all their players in now before and get ready to then jump to the EFL. I think rules and regulations need to be in place, like pretty much the same as or similar to EFL clubs as well, because I don't think it's fair the fact that obviously National League teams, if it does get voted and it does happen, can then spend above and beyond like the financial fair play and things like that. I don't think it's fair that we could obviously do that, build for the EFL and then obviously kind of go on. I think there needs to be some kind of agreement where EFL and National League in that aspect needs to be quite similar. So we're not obviously, kind of thingy, but I just think it needs to happen, or something needs to happen, because I just think it's so unfair that only 2 go up, and then you've got your League 2 clubs and obviously League 1 where it's well, it's all different. Like, why does it have to be so different for these lower clubs? Because I feel like National League and below that are getting bigger and better now. I think football as a whole are getting bigger and better because there's so many eyes on it. Even people like us, we're bringing attention to them kind of leagues now. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about them. So I am very passionate about it. I know it probably won't happen, but I just wanted to have my say on, obviously, the matter. I will go to the chat as well.
So you should. It's an important thing to talk about. It's a big thing.
Yeah. I agree that I think the National League needs to be on TV more. I don't understand why it's been put on a paywall behind his own. I think that is atrocious. I think it should
not fair,
be
is it?
on like Sky Sports or something like that, because I pay for his own personally for the NFL and it cost me £150 a year to watch NFL. So God knows what it costs the National League to watch.
Do you know this is true. This is true. And I think BT Sports did such a lot of work on raising the profile of National League, and it is in danger now because of obviously the rights being dropped or took elsewhere. Sorry, it is in danger of becoming less spoken about again, and that's sad. They've done such a brilliant job, and some of the pundits they had as well doing the matches, like
they could easily like make a dedicated channel on Sky or BT for the National League, and people would watch it. Like I'd happily choose a National League team and watch a Premier League game any day of the week.
100% agree with you.
I just don't understand why it's been put behind a paywall at DAZN, because I think DAZN's pricing is absolutely atrocious, and I regularly pay it every year, so I know exactly what it's like.
And you've got to look at like what Sky Sport Plus has done to like bring out, you know, what's happening in the football league now. You know, you're getting Morecambe on a Tuesday night, getting to watch, you know, your team, away from home or games you can't get. You can still get watching on the telly. You know, I've watched a lot of Bradford this year just for deeply. You know what I mean? Being watching a lot of Bradford on Tuesday night when we're not playing. It's like it's mint. So if they could do that and include the National League as well, like, it just brings so much more money and then a bit more notoriety. And as Charles put out before, there's some bloody good footballers in that league. Really good footballers who...
It's like us. Like, our best player is Tom White. He was literally from non-league, and he's now playing for a League Two club. Like, you look at half of our team is National League because that's all we can afford. Half of them are incredible players, and I definitely agree that National League needs more coverage, 100%, because if I could watch it, I generally would, but because it's behind a paywall, I just think it's ridiculous, and it should either be on BT or it should have a Sky Sports app, because like you said, that Sky Sports app is great for Tuesday night games when I'm at home and I'm able to actually watch the game and not just pay attention to my phone and see what's happening. I can actually watch the game and see what's going on.
No, I completely agree. And I just wanted to get my point across about the players in particular, because I've seen so many people, and I know they don't mean any harm by it, but say like the difference between football league and like National League. And I get that. You get that with anywhere between all the leagues, where some players are obviously outstanding. You get your ones who are like good, you get your other ones who are obviously struggle. But I feel like it's always, oh no, there's a big difference between football league and National League, and there's not, because you think how many are getting poached now. Yeah. And this is why I wanted to really get my point across and give examples, because I feel like there might be a difference between some of them. I think that you get that every day in life, don't you? Where there's differences between who can do a job better than a different person. I get that through experience.
Do you remember those, Shah, when back in like the early 2000s, probably late 2000s, the FA Cup days, where you would get on the BBC where I always remember this. It was when Newcastle played Stevenage. It was about 98, 99. And Stevenage drew with Newcastle. Stevenage were like down in what was the Vauxhall Conference back then. And they were like, oh, well, Stevenage paid an apple and orange and a Twix bar for this striker. They didn't pay much money for him and this striker ended up scoring. But they were all like, they all made a massive thing to say, well, this lad's a plumber, this lad's an electrician, this lad's a banker. And I think that's where the kind of mindset with a lot of people who go watch National League think it's literally just a league full of people who go work 9 to 5. And it isn't anymore. You know what I mean? It has improved, as you've said. Yes, there is still the non-league sides who aren't professional, but there is a lot of this now who are our professional teams. And I think that's where sometimes a lot of people just get a bit ignorant towards it. These are actually professional footballers now.
I was shocked the other day when I found out that Maidstone the other week About Mason a full time.
Yeah.
In the National League South, like that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But I feel like as well, even the ones who aren't full time at the minute, and I know they have their everyday jobs, but I feel like even they're getting better. Like everything's getting better, and I think that's just how football's evolving because there's so many people watching it. There's so much money that's getting pumped into it as well. You think, I know York have got money, but the way they've managed to buy Josh Stones from Wigan for that substantial amount, and I know it's stupid. I know you think, oh, it's stupid, like obviously a National League team doing that, but the money that they have, and I know it's not all teams. I know there's obviously some teams who obviously don't have that. It's like even us. Everyone's thinking, oh, billionaire owners are going to spend money. We've not spent money on a player this season. Like every player we've got has been a free transfer or a loan because they want to obviously do the bigger picture and kind of work on things first, like off field, like getting a training facility. Like obviously we've got things with our pitch, and I know we had a laugh about it like in the group chat the other day, but we've not actually spent money on a player or we've not brought anyone in yet. I know obviously our transfer window's not shut. We've got till March, so we can bring anybody in. But we didn't sign anyone on deadline day to obviously the EFL clubs because we spent money on new pitch covers. And I know we had a bit of a laugh about it as well because I said, oh yeah, our new signing, we've got new pitch covers. But it's something we desperately need because if we don't get them pitch covers, we don't invest in our pitch, we're not going to bring them players in to want to play on our pitch. They might think, oh no, well, I'm not going to get a game there. Like what's going to happen with us? So I feel like it'd be a positive, not just for National League as a whole, but for everything. I think it'll be more competitive as well. But obviously that's my opinion, and I think we've spent enough time on the matter. I am going to ask each week as well. Like I know we've got Rebecca, I know obviously Ben, other people as well to do with this, and people who do come on. I'm going to ask their opinions and maybe ask people on social media as well because I do really want to get everyone's opinions from all the different leagues, not just ours. Because with me, I love to get a bit of an understanding from everyone and take everyone's opinions. And I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I get that. And this is what I like about us as well. We can have conversations about it. We can disagree about certain things and we can like not challenge each other, but we can kind of have our say and give like certain points as well. So yeah, I'm just intrigued to see where it goes. I don't think it'll go anywhere, but it's good that the National League feel like they want to come together and challenge this.
That is massive in it all, to be fair, because the amount of years it's been spoken about, there's never been anything like that happen. So who knows anyway? Because what you might find is, like, for example, Championship clubs and League One clubs are like, yeah, do you know what? Maybe it should happen. So it could pass theoretically because they're not going to be scared about going out of the league, are they? If they're at the level. And maybe it gives players a bigger platform to show themselves on. I don't know. I just definitely. I can't tell you why. It's just not for me.
No, I know, and honestly, I respect everyone's opinions. And like I was saying, like when Ant was speaking as well, and he obviously mentioned about the clubs and if they go down, but then I can see it from the other side as well. Obviously, I get Jen's point because it's a massive one. It's something obviously that we struggled with. We've obviously been looking. We've got the takeover, and hopefully Morecambe will as well. But I feel like for any other teams who are around the area now and think, oh shit, kind of thing, I think. Obviously, they won't want to go down. They won't want to vote for that extra space to go down. But if they are actually deep in trouble, that extra space to go up is also vital to them as well, because it can be so hard. And the crowds and everything as well in National League, like it's getting better and better. But some of the teams, obviously, from like down south and your lower teams who do come up and they don't really bring the crowds and the money that people lose out on from that aspect as well. Like I've seen it from a Dale point of view, where we don't get massive crowds anyway. But when you've got someone like Maidenhead or Ebbsfleet come in and they bring in like 17 people, and fair play to them 17 people, they have spent their money, they've made the effort. But from going from like your Bradfords, even like your Stockports, your Morecambes, teams like that, like with the money that you'd get and then to them. And I feel like if a lot more people saw it and became common, it was like common knowledge to them and people actually enjoyed watching National League, because people just associate National League, non-league. It's a bit like a kickabout, Sunday League kind of thing. And it's not like that anymore. It's not.
Sure, I feel like doing well post-COVID, doing well gets you more people as well, because like when we were in the National League North, there was between, like, I remember us breaking a record of an attendance in that league, and it was 5,000.
Yeah.
And that was for FC United, and they brought like 2,000 with them or something. So like I used to regularly sit there with an empty Cheadle End, 2,000-3,000 people on average, and I feel like it's us doing well that's brought people out. But I also feel like a lot of people are shifting from Premier League teams because they like can't be arsed with the politics of Premier League football anymore, don't like the team anymore, fall out of love with football, and they're like, oh, I'll just go and see another local match. I'm not saying it stopped, but I think we got a lot through because we were, 3 promotions in 5 years in it. But I feel like that level of success, because they say that attendances in general have gone up since COVID because people can go more. So I suppose it's about trying to capitalize on that in a way as well.
No, I completely agree. We'll see what happens, won't we? I just like kind of advocating things, and I like giving it a platform because I feel like I'm able to do that. Someone might see it, do you know what I mean? But I just wanted to point out that all National League football isn't like Peter Cave advert where he kicks it and goes, have it. Not like that at all. I promise you.
Do you know what? I mentioned to go back to the FA Cup, but do you remember when that, I can't even remember what team it was for, Sutton United won at the second goalkeeper, the substitute cup at the Pie. And it was like, he won it for a bet and this, that, and the other. And that's where, that's a lot of people think of National League and all, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, and is what has held it back. But it is a lot better than what a lot of people, I think. And if you don't believe any of us, go and watch a game. Go and watch when there's a national weekend on. Go and watch your local team and see how good it is.
Me and a bit of a Northwest tour, didn't we?
Yeah, listen to my rant as well. I'm moaning that I don't want this modern day football sometimes. I won't have it. I want plan B from Jim McNulty.